Mic drop. That is where I am professionally right now. So let's talk a little bit about work. Obviously, I can't go into a lot of detail. I currently work full-time. No, it's technically considered part-time for a nonprofit, 30 hours a week, off on Fridays. The nonprofit that I transitioned from, I'm still doing contract work for them. Between the two, I definitely work like a full-time job. I'm just off on Fridays. So what's happening right now is I feel like I'm working 10-hour days Monday through Thursday. I definitely enjoy my Fridays off. I'm loving that. I love having Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I feel like part of the trade-off is exactly that. From a pay perspective, the part-time job, the full, my main job, I took a pay cut, but it's also because the hours are less. So I work 75% less hours technically than I was working when I was working my full-time job. Between the two, from the contract and the full-time job, I make probably maybe a little bit more than I was making when I was working the first job. Like I said, I can't go into a lot of detail. I will say this, if y'all decide to stick with me and I do eventually leave both of these jobs, come on back, because I got some stuff to say, but I can't say it right now. Anyway, so moving on, that's where I am. I have been doing accounting since I graduated from college in 2006. So we're coming up on 20 years next year, which is freaking crazy. That's absolutely asinine. Like, I can't even believe that it's almost my 20-year college reunion and that I've been doing accounting for that long. I love accounting. The concept of accounting is like at my core, just something that I love. And I think a big part of that is just because of the structure that it provides and the way that my mind thinks and processes is just like very structured. That is what I love about accounting. The challenge that I'm running into is that there's politics that goes on with a job. As a teacher, I know teachers. My mom was a teacher. I've taught at college before. If as a teacher, you could just show up and teach the babies, that is where your joy is. That's where you want to be. That's what you want to do. And you like whatever, like I would do this all day in and out. Just leave me with the babies, leave me alone. But you got to go to staff meetings. You got to go to trainings. You have a principal, you have an assistant principal, you have deans or other people. You have the leader of the fifth grade hall. You have all these people who bring stuff with them, drama and politics, and you have to be able to fit in and acquiesce and just do all these things that it's just like, I don't want to do this, I just want to teach. That's how I feel about accounting, is like, if you could just leave me alone with a spreadsheet, maybe some QuickBooks, maybe some Bill.com, if you could just leave me alone behind the screen with those things, I would sit there all day and be completely happy. Give me a problem, send it to me in an email, don't call me. At the end of the day, I can guarantee you a solution. Depending on what it is, maybe it'll take the rest of the week, but I can get to it, right? Because that's where I thrive, is to be able to just analyze and get the work done. The meetings are a lot, the politics, the feelings. This is ironic because I'm an ESFJ, so I'm a feeler. I definitely am a feeler. I think it's just a time and a place for it. And so for me, from a work perspective, it's just like, I just want to work. I just want to get my work done. I think really it's less about the accounting and the work that I'm doing that is causing a problem, and it's more about like the behind the scenes politicking and drama and all the other things that go into being an employee. I think the other challenge that I am personally running into is I have kind of pigeonholed myself into this role of being a financial leader or just a organizational leader from a nonprofit perspective. As you know, nonprofit professionals usually wear multiple hats because there's lack of resources and you just got to wear different hats and do different jobs. One of the hats that I end up putting on a lot is an HR hat. Now, I did not go to school for HR. All of my HR that I know is on the job training. I mean, I think there's a certain level of strategy and structure that comes with HR because there's laws and rules. And so it does kind of fit well with like that same mentality, that same side of the brain that whatever is accounting. The problem is I love accounting. I do HR. And it is a challenge for me because a lot of times it does feel like a physical, like, let me take off my finance hat and put on my HR hat. It makes me live in this zone of frustration when I have to do HR things. In my role, that is just kind of expected, but it's also needed because most nonprofit organizations, especially the smaller ones, they just can't afford to have like a full HR person or a full administrative person or ops person and things like that. As the CFO, a lot of times that just falls under my umbrella. And so, I wear it. Going back to what we were talking about, some of the challenges that I'm having right now is when I layer all of that on top of each other, it makes me feel like I don't want to be an accountant anymore. I literally had a conversation with my friend about this, and she was like, "What? That doesn't even sound right." And so she was right. It had absolutely nothing to do with the accounting side of things. It's just the additional politics drama and the hats that I have to wear that made the accounting part like shrink and made it feel like this thing that I just didn't want anymore. So I am at this point in my life where I'm trying to figure out what my next step is. I have found that I'm a creative person. I like doing like silly videos. I like singing. I like teaching, but not the traditional sense of teaching. I will do the traditional like classroom teaching, but I like the like content creation piece of teaching, short clips and things like that. I love connecting with people. I like connecting people together. I love the kids. I love working with kids more so than adults. There's just so many things. I love learning languages. I don't think I'm that good at it, but I'm rightfully so. I've never been given the chance to like just pursue it full time. So that's something that I'm interested in doing. I love traveling. There's just so many things that I like. I'm at this stage in my life where I'm doing what I have to do and working towards being able to do what I want to do. Mic drop. That's a full stop right there. That is where I am professionally right now. Until next time, I'll see y'all later.